Is it rolling?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
What a week.
Let's fucking go.
We weren't sure if we were going to actually shoot this episode, but we decided we should.
Here we are. With the mic.
With a mic. It's been
With
a
some
whirlwind.
Cha.
Always with
Because
cha.
we need to talk about things.
Because clearly you guys had feelings, and we did too.
I think both of us really know where to actually begin with this episode.
Yeah.
Because we was not going to film this episode, so, but I think it's better we address some part or most part.
We've been called a lot of things. Haters, mean girls, and yeah, I mean, let's talk.
So what exactly happened this week?
So, our second episode, I mean, that was tumultuous. The way we received the reaction is not something we've ever expected.
It's not something we actually expected.
No, the impact was big. Which, given our platform, we've never thought that. We just started this podcast. That was our second episode. We just think we're just people that just share our lives on social media. It was such a big deal
For a lot of people.
what the impact was. I do think people know of us, but we're never in different spaces. So people don't know what our real opinions are.
I think more than anything, people now know our faces. That's the one thing. I'm gonna say
But
one
your face is
thing.
pretty.
I think one thing that really needs to be clear over here is that we said some things, and that has that had a domino effect where people, brought up past, present, future, and everything.
Let's summarize basically episode 2 for you.
Yeah.
For our technically our actual first episode, because the very first one was a pilot, we decided we were going to talk about creators we love and we don't love.
Right.
We mentioned the names of creators that we loved because we wanted people to discover more creators if they weren't, if they didn't know them. Now, in terms of the creators we didn't love, that received a lot of backlash.
That was actually the center of everything.
And while I understand that I never should have done that or gone about the way I did, I still stand very strongly with my boundaries and my beliefs. But what I don't agree with is my approach. And looking back, I've had enough time to reflect on it. I totally understand the impact as well as why that wasn't okay and how that could have been different. But what I'm not going to be sorry about is my stance or my morals or my boundaries here. What are your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts are pretty direct. I've been getting a lot of comments about my sassiness. My sassiness is kind of like me looking down at people and like making mean comments, which was never like that's kind of my personality.
I think another thing that people had an issue with was the way we speak.
Yeah.
And just our tone in general, which, by the way, if that's how we speak, that's how we speak.
I mean, it's two people over here. You see one person who is openly open-minded because I don't think you fear like putting out anything.
No, I'm a very progressive person.
Very progressive person.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you hanging out with one gay individual. So it doubled down that sassiness, doubled down everything. I feel like targeted jokes and the commentary was for the girls and the gays.
Yes.
The theys and the thems and everybody else. So
absolutely.
Most of the commentary that we faced was actually from the straight people, which is true. And there is no hate. There is like no problem with that. I feel like we should be able. This is for public entertainment, right? This is for, at least for some sort of entertainment.
Right.
So we are open to constructive criticism.
Yes.
So,
But what's not going to happen
yeah.
is you're going to put him down for his sexuality
Yeah.
or bring me down with my past trauma, because that's exactly what followed after what we did, which like I said, I don't agree with my approach. I don't, however, think anything should ever come back to who he is as a person, or the things that happened to me while I was going through the lowest times of my life. That's never okay. And that's where we draw our boundaries.
And so many questions were raised, personal, private, and everything.
So many.
But one question is, I feel like there's now a divided situation that in the comment section, people easily targeted to like break this kind of bond or the friendship that I have with.
Which is never going to happen.
Which never going to happen. I want to make that stand very clear. And this is where my tone comes in the sassy way, because that's how that's my personality. That's how I talk. And let me make one thing very clear. This is never going to happen. I'm always going to be there. And that's through and through everything. I'm going to be there no matter what. And as far goes for the accountability, I feel like we took that together as well. We learned this.
Absolutely.
We learned it together because we're in the same path. We're in this together.
Right. I think a lot of the comments were that, why don't you go solo?
Why don't you, yeah.
Right? And I fully understand, like I said, what I said wasn't right. However, I don't think that means that I shouldn't have a voice anymore.
Right. I feel like most people who got that our initial target wasn't to actually pull anybody down. That was never in any shape or form.
That was never the intention. We never went into it wanting to do that.
Right. Our intentions was we do a little bit of critique, a little bit of this, add a little bit of spice and flavor, have fun, have kiki, have kaka. And also at the same time, we are open to the same kiki kaka.
Right. Like, do that to us too.
Do that to us too.
You want to make fun of us? We'll be
like let's fucking do it.
Okay, like, honestly, we make fun of each other all the time.
I feel like, so this is the problem though. You know, we expected everybody who watches us are the same Kiki Kaka team. So I was like, you and me, we insult each other all the fucking time. Like, I feel like that's our, like, a fun, like, way of, like, showing love.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like this is,
for God's sake, I'm always like, oh my God, look, whenever you see me, it's like straight therapy. I mean, that's so terrible to say.
Like, for her shading my man every time, that's, like, nothing personal. That's just, like, you throw in more.
Yeah, but I get where we should have never honed in on specific creators.
Right.
Which, totally, I agree.
Right.
But it happened, and we just want to now make it clear that that was never the intention of this podcast in the first place.
And that will never be the intention.
That's never going to be going forward.
Right.
And when we started this podcast, it was about two friends just being on camera and just
talk
and have fun.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of like motivational podcasts that exist in the market and just all over social media. I think one thing that doesn't exist is, especially within the South Asian community, where people are just themselves. Right. I think there's a lot of judgment towards women and marginalized communities like the one that Dave is a part of. Right. He's a gay man, and it's not okay. It's not normal to see a man like that on a podcast talking, right? So we never intended it to be a motivational or educational podcast.
I feel like I could have taken the path to every single episode, or like the last two episodes, to always talk about like my sexuality or the struggle, or brought up everything, which is fair enough. We could talk about our struggles. We could talk about the old things, but that was not the initial target for this podcast.
Not just that. Like, I think sometimes it's just frustrating every gay man to just have to be like, hey, this is my story. Yeah. This is my story. This is my story. He just wanted to be himself.
I just want to be like myself, like everybody else.
Right. And I mean, I feel like that doesn't exist in current media. We're not like the model perfect Bengalis or just South Asians in general, or just people in general. Like, you don't look at us and think, oh my God, I want to be like them, right? Like, and we're not here to try to get you to be like us. We're here just to hold ourselves accountable when we make mistakes, and also just build this bond with you and just enjoy and create this safe space together and just have fun, you know? I think there's enough negativity that exists and we just want to enjoy.
There was a lot of negativity that existed. That still exists.
Well, you are dying. You got strays, babe.
I feel like I feel like I handle things very joking way. I cannot get too serious because that does not teach me anything. So when people take my humor as like, oh, you're not serious, but like I am being serious through my sarcasticness because like that's how I cope with things, learn things, and manage things. But people take it as like a condescending way. Oh, you're laughing it out. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. That's me also learning things in my head. So,
and you guys also have to realize, and this is like a conversation my husband and I had not so long ago, that Dave is a gay man.
Exactly.
As a gay man, like, he has been through things that we have never experienced. He probably gets like criticism on, not just criticism, but literal hate on his sexual identity every single day. And so a few comments, it doesn't hurt him.
It doesn't really hurt me, but then like sometimes I'm like, what's the point of you bringing my sexuality into it all the time to critique me because you couldn't find anything worse.
Yeah.
And that in your eyes, that is the worst thing.
I also thought that some of criticism was always okay, right? Like I think at first I was highly defensive. However, criticism's always welcome here. I do think where it did get personal is I was most affected when I started seeing homophobia thrown against my friend, especially because I've always seen him being so accepted, especially in this community. I think we share a lot of the same audience, and I've always seen so much love towards you, and just seeing the very first time that you didn't even mess up, you just happened to be present, the amount of hate you received.
It is what it is. I feel like my bond with you really got stronger because I think there was one person who brought it up that, oh, there was no homophobia present when I spoke to him. I mean, the homophobia was present because you allowed other people to harass me. But then the reason why my relationship got really stronger with you because I never saw you as actually like allowing people to be hateful towards me and actually clocking them every time someone actually tried.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where my judgment like really separated two individual because I was like, wait a second, she's not laughing with the other people.
No, I think there was an instance at my wedding. I don't want to bring up my wedding so many times, but at my wedding, like one of Jihan's friends, and I'm sure he didn't mean any harm, like during like the jutaturi thing,
I
like
remember.
he got just like slightly aggressive, like he just pulled something out of his hand, and I was like right away, like, stop it, like. I would never, like, people being aggressive towards you.
Actually,
like,
actually, I looked at you, I'm like, I was actually
scared.
So like I feel like that's when it came to like that friendship, I really felt that protection near you. I never had to feel unsafe or something. So that's why I said, bitch, I'll always be here through and through.
Yeah, and I love you for that. I really do.
I love you.
Thank you.
And I feel like this journey, this last week, entire, I don't know how many hours.
Yeah. I mean, God knows. At this point, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
What I will say, though, is a lot of people, after hating on you, there were some people that decided to bring up a lot of my past trauma, to which I will say, like, it's never okay to bring them up. At the same time, luckily, I have a really thick skin, and I've been through so much that I'm like, all right, well, it happened, whatever, right? But it's like, it's not okay. Like, do not ever do that to anyone. And if you see anyone around you receiving that, regardless of, even if they did make a mistake, if someone is being attacked, you have to stand up for them. And just like you stood up for the person who was hurt by our podcast, our behavior, I feel like I deserve the same, which a lot of people did, for which I'm really appreciative. Luckily, I have a really thick skin. I have always been really open about mental health and just my journey, and I understand I messed up. However, that's never defined me, right? I've always been really open about, I mean, for God's sake, I came on here and I was like, oh, I just came back from a psych ward, right? Like, and that was me being open, because I do think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I was one of the first like Bengali content creator on a media, like on TikTok, to ever talk about like mental health journey, like going to a psych ward.
Yeah.
People always spoke about it, but people like in private, but never on a in social media. That was never a conversation.
I remember back in like millions of views, even like those time, and for you to be like vulnerable on such platform where people actually could use that in terms of like to like, you know, put you down.
Right.
So you felt like, oh, if I share my journey, someone else would be able to out there actually watch it and feel safe enough to talk about it.
Right.
I feel like talk in Bengali community or in brown community in general, talking about mental health is like, oh, going to therapist like তুমি পাগলের doctor কাছে যাও, right? So that's like a straight up comment from our parents and like everyone in general. So I'm like, for you to actually like put it out there, it takes it takes a lot of gut. So because like in back of my head, I'm like, if I go on online, I say this, people would use this in terms of to critique me, but I see where you come from. You never saw it in that way. You thought like you would just probably like help someone else.
Yeah, and not just that. I just wanted to be open. I just think like it's okay.
Transparency.
Right, transparency. I really think it's really important to talk about the things that it's okay to talk about the things that you go through, even if they're not perfect. And to have that weaponized against me was really hurtful. Right. However, luckily I have a thick skin. I have a pretty good support system. So it's been fine and I'm doing great.
Thank God we have a great family. For a lot of people who actually commented that if your family is actually proud, actually our family is very proud.
Yes. Like my parents.
I'm so grateful for my family. I feel like
your brother's so supportive.
My brothers is like so fucking supportive. So I don't think for a lot of people out there who actually question my family, just so you know, they love me. Yeah. Her family loves her. Both of our families are okay with everything. Yeah. But thank you. I feel like we consider you guys as a family and also put most of the information out there because we felt safer.
Right.
But I did not expect a lot of you guys, you know.
I just want you guys to know, like, we shared a lot of opinions. I understand targeting a certain creator was not okay. However, an opinion is never violent.
Right.
An opinion, I can have an opinion about anything, right? You don't have to agree with it. You may not agree with me, and that's okay, right? That's the whole point. Like, we want you to be able to also challenge us, right?
I feel like one of the greatest message I received through this, like the whole thing, someone said you could never have a debate with a Bengali person because they always want to talk over you to prove their point, which is that's not a solid debate, because a debate is like, oh, I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen. But it's like two people like going face to face.
I will say, though, that there was someone who did make a video about us, and she was being very non-biased. Like, very understanding of both situations. And I think people who did that were able to understand where we came from, as opposed to people who didn't. And it just became like a bit of a dogpiling. It became weird.
I watched every single comment and I did check every single profile. Yeah. And I feel like there is...
You checked every single profile?
I almost checked every single profile. So the most critique that I got to me was from the people who constantly watch me. Yeah. I could probably name all those users' account like top of my head. And I feel like since these people been watching me for like last few years, they know me. And I'm going to take their critique very seriously because... they actually know my personality. They've seen it online for all these years. But for the people who actually never watched me and came out to give me a critique was because like you will never understand my point of view.
Someone said, I've been watching you for a month and you've been giving me mean girl. That's why I don't follow you. I'm like, you've been watching
me for a month.
I've been on social media. We've both been on social media for like 4 years.
But then some of the comments that you saw is like, oh, you actually you said mean things to me. You said these things to me. And I actually was like, wait, did I actually? And then I checked the profile. I'm like, I have no idea, sweetie, who you are. Like most of the people,
like they were saying that
they were saying like, oh, you did this to me. I'm like, I don't even know you existed, baby girl. Like some of you guys, I don't even know where you came from. Like all of this time, where were you? Like, and commenting that I actually harassed you or like said mean things to you was kind of insane.
Well, we knew even coming into this that we're not going to be loved by everyone. We're already like...
At the end of the day, you cannot make everyone happy.
No, and we're okay with not being loved by everyone. That was never the point.
Exactly.
If we are loved by everyone, then we're doing something wrong, right?
Simply, we did something. I'm just gonna be silly, you guys. I have to be silly.
Yeah, I think this week was a lot, and this was a really good like learning curve for us moving forward, because we, like I said, like this, yes, it's about hot takes. We're gonna be silly while we're like giving you like tea and just hot takes in general.
Hot takes are still coming.
Hot takes are still coming. You may not agree with a lot of the things that I have to say, and that's okay, right? That's where I'm here to see your perspective. That's where I say the criticism is absolutely encouraged.
Yeah.
But I want you to also see my point of view and be like, oh, and you're living your life and that's okay. And I think that's exactly what I was trying to do, but I clearly didn't. It came across kind of mean girl, but that was my whole thing. You don't do that and that's okay. I think this about this, but obviously I could have been much gentler with my delivery. I agree with that.
I do agree with that.
We appreciate the love. It just, we never thought we would have such an impact. People were like, podcast equipment should not be given to everyone. And I'm like...
Wait, but honestly, some of the comments, you guys actually ate.
You guys ate.
You guys ate in the
true.
comment section.
Likes, honestly.
One of the comments said, I'm unemployed. I'm employed. This is biggest news for unemployed people. I'm employed. What is happening? I actually love reading those comments.
Yeah, some of the hate comments are very cute. Someone said, oh, I was like, oh, dropping new episode. No one cares. I'm like, oh, but you're here.
We couldn't, if we actually took ourselves that seriously, life would be miserable.
Like I said, there was a lot of hate that we didn't love, of course, that we're naturally affected. But outside of that, like just funny criticism, like
funny criticism is always welcome.
Always welcome.
Bitch, talk about anything.
Like when people hate on us, we're like, wow, that ate.
That ate.
They clocked me.
We could even we could even get mad at the comments because
I'm going viral in Africa for doing
for your dance video.
For dancing as a bride, right? So I posted that and someone was like, look at you. Why are you dancing like that on your wedding like a baddie?
Like a baddie? Well, that's a compliment, like a baddie.
And then she was like, baddie like bad or something. She said, wait, let me find it. Wait.
Funny.
I don't know if this is messy, but can I tell you?
Yeah.
Wait, I have to tell you.
One more thing. Because of this whole mess.
Wait, okay, so it says, even you getting viral in a negative way, who plays this type of song on wedding, only a baddie, like a dumb bitch.
So you calling me a baddie?
Thanks for the compliment.
I always so you call me a baddie?
Like the minute you use the word baddie, I lose everything. I'm like,
exactly.
A baddie.
Everything else is invisible.
I'm like, oh, delusion world, baddie.
Delusion world. We should somebody put us in a background of in heaven.
Yeah.
Because this entire month, the week, that everything was stressful and a learning curve for both of us.
Yeah, it really was.
It took a big wave, a heat wave. That was the biggest hit in the brown community.
But can I just say how many people have also supported us and reached out to us?
Right.
We appreciate you. And so many of you that reached out also held us accountable, but did say, Your voices still matter. Do not give up. Like, continue on.
For everybody who actually sent me personal DMs too, I did not probably get time to like respond to everybody.
Oh my God.
But trust, I read every single message and I love and appreciate all of you guys. Some of you guys actually hella mean without a reason. Like, you had no reason to be that mean.
Okay, it's so funny because after a lot of people like brought up like, hey, like obviously what they did wasn't right, but like, you know, homophobia and all of this is not okay.
Yeah.
And people were like, but, you know, like they should have known their consequences. And they're like, okay, but why does that like...
Well, if it is in the consequences of my own action.
Right, but it's like, once they're like, yeah, but that's like not as deep as like bringing up like sexual identity and like past trauma, and they're like, once they're clogged, they don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say.
Oh.
And when I say I checked every single profile, I checked every single profile.
And you know what? Like, I understand we messed up, but it's like, I said it a few times. What would you like us to do? Like, what
would you like us to do?
What would you like us to do?
In this podcast.
Leave
in the comment section.
And, you know, I really want to have, like, in the future, we have started reaching out to some guests, and we want to have some guests on this.
Who do you want to see?
We want to have, like, loud voices. We want to have voices that are, like, not shown enough. We want to show, like, the voices that are not considered, like, perfect.
We want to hear voices who are opinionated, like, you know. Have some opinion, a strong opinion.
Absolutely. You should have very strong
opinion. Even with the same guest, we may not agree, but you're still allowed to state your opinion. You're allowed to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut anything.
I think that's
really
important. I think that's so important. Because I feel like that exists all over except for our community. I just don't think... I think we live in this bubble of like, oh, like we just have to always follow the same rule. But I'm sorry, we don't all follow the same rules.
I feel like that is true. I feel like most of the comments, how it came out like, oh, you have to be perfect. There wasn't no given space to be imperfect and like learn. Yeah. So
it was just like, how's your husband letting you do this? What is my husband?
Let's actually ask the audience, since you're here, how are you letting her do this?
How are you letting me do this?
The fucking 1950s. My wife can do whatever she wants.
He said it's not the 1950s and my wife can do whatever she wants.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you call a man.
He's not here to control me and my body and my autonomy. Like, that's weird.
And for everybody asking how we're this close, her husband is here.
Yeah, my husband's like literally right there.
Right there, so.
He is always supportive. Like, first of all, like, if my friend is so gay, you guys, that he cannot even...
no idea how gay I am.
You know what? I'm gonna be... Because people think my mouth is a little, like, I'm a little reckless. But you know what? He looks at vagina and he's like, what the fuck?
Machir gondo pish? Again, don't take it out of context that I'm insulting a woman's body part. It's just like... You know, the jokes, you get it, you don't. Machir gondo? Fish? Smells like fish, bitch, to me.
To you, because you hate it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not about it.
Yeah. Machir gondo?
On the other end, you ask a straight man, they'll be like, oh yeah, great, you know what I mean?
My brother, he's like... I love it. I don't know what you're talking. He's so random. He comes in my room at 3 a.m. in the morning. Because last time he caught me coming in at 3 a.m. He goes like, oh, you met your sneaky? I'm like, yes. He was like, let me ask you a question. I'm like, what is it? He was like, so like, that doesn't like do anything to you? Like, you don't like it at all? Like, I love it. I'm like, I don't.
Valid question.
He was like, I love it. I like to... The way he says things, I feel like if I say it in front of the camera, they still gonna take it out of context. But I'm like... That's you. That's what makes you you.
But you know what's crazy? Is that's how you know you're so fucking gay.
I'm so gay, you guys. I would never turn around.
Like, ever talking about our, like, closeness is weird. We're like siblings.
I feel like someone really have to have a gay friend to understand the context.
And honestly, you guys need gay friends in general. Like, you're not my first gay friend, but I will tell you the very first time I had, like... Did I ever tell you the very first time I hung out with, like, a non-straight friend?
No.
Okay. It was life-changing. So while I was in a really bad relationship, I had 0 friends, right? So once I got out of that friendship, I started making so many friends. And
As you should.
I met a queer person, and they go by they, and basically we went and got some drinks, and they were like, oh, you should come over to my apartment. We should just hang out. And I'm just going through a breakup. So they were like, I know exactly what would make you feel better. I came to their apartment, and they were like, do you know lavender and THC mix really calms you down? I was like, really? And I had that, and I was like, wow. And then started like giving me chamomile tea because it would calm me down, literally sat down with me, prayed with me, and I was crying. And then put makeup on me, and makeup was by amazing makeup. Somehow, I mean, honestly, queer people know how to do makeup. They're just talented people.
They're just talented
They're
people.
just artsy people.
I feel like we have a good survival skills.
Yeah. Amazing, honestly. Showed me their art, had a whole conversation. We had a heart to heart. And they were like, I just wanted you to like forget and like really know you're so powerful and that you don't need to think about this man at all. Actually, let's get you back on a good place. I want you to like enjoy your like time. And I was like, wow. And also at the time, like I didn't put any like, I was on Hinge. I didn't put any like specific like gender I was dating. So they were like, oh, let me help you message the girls on there. I was like, oh, okay. So it was like a life-changing experience. Like we had so much time we spent together, and I'm like, I understand you all lesbians now. You guys, it's like something about the queer community. You guys like show love in a way that like straights just don't.
I feel we're very welcoming.
Also, can we just talk about what does it mean to be a fob? What does it mean?
Enlighten me in the comment section.
Please, what does it mean to be a fob? I'm sorry that we have an accent. And what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it?
Just a hater.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with... I do want to clear this, though, because I think someone said... I think my words were misconstrued, and I was told that I said Bangladeshi people are low class.
Not even you.
I never said that. I would never in my life say that. I never think Bangladeshi people are low class. I've never thought that in my life. Majority of my followers are Bangladeshi people, and I love them very much. If that wasn't the case, I would not continue to make Bangla content. And also, like, I've always been this person who's like so proud of like being Bengali. To say that was just like really like it did trigger me a little.
You're questioning my identity.
And also at the same time, like. I think I'm more Bangladeshi than American.
I'm more Machebate Bengali than like...
You're a citizen though. I'm not.
Unfortunately. We did not forget there's supposed to be a segment of Q&A, and that was supposed to be this episode. So ask us questions that you want answers to. You can comment down underneath this video, or you can go on to Chow with Bandhoppis TikTok. You can comment there, or Instagram. On all our personal pages, comment anywhere, and we'll find those questions, collect them, and answer them together.
For you.
For you.
For you.
In the next episode.
For you only. Love you.
See you guys soon.
Love you.